Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
And I was just about to turn around and go away, but the kids didn't know what that meant. So they surrounded her, and they were all trying to show her a book. And they were saying, here's Krishna and the cow, and this is Lord Chaitanya, here's Prabhupada. And they were all showing a different thing, explaining from different angles surrounding this woman. And I was still standing by the gate just watching, and the woman was kind of looking at him, looking at me, and then she looks up and she goes, all right, how much is it? And then I realized that the kids are very disarming because they're innocent. And from there, we started doing a few outings with the kids, very highly supervised. We bring a lot of snacks. They take time to have playtime in between, everything like that. Now a lot of those kids that were 3 and 5 and things like that are now in their teens, and they're amazing, solid. But when we first started asking them who wants to go in Sankirtan, I want to go in Sankirtan. Everyone wants to go in Sankirtan. They all want to go out. It's like a really fun experience for them to experience the world like that, and to also feel that they're participating. So are we live now? Hare Krishna. One of the ways in which we celebrate the Sankirtan festival is that we offer all the scores together as one team. And we do it, normally the monthly Sankirtan festivals lead up to a special day like Janmashtami or Gaur Purnima or any other days. I mean, there's so many days on the Vaishnava calendar, you can pick any of them. Radhashtami. And so the MSF coincides with that, leads up to it. So for instance, on Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, we offer everything else. We come early, we offer flowers and offerings and everything like that. And then we have a massive offering of the results for the MSF. Now, MSFs, I could just say expand, because you may start with 1 day a month, but then it turns into more than that. Start small. And devotees naturally venture out on their own, and they start going out a little bit more. Last year, the devotees at ISV went out every weekend. And we didn't start like that. We started with 1 weekend a month, or 1 day a month practically. But then it expanded into that. So there's a lot to offer during these MSFs. And they read, and this is in my book, I show an example of that in the MSF chapter. They'll read the scores. It's a dramatic offering. Sometimes I see in temples where the devotees offer the scores, and it's just sort of an afterthought. Not everyone hears it. Maybe there's 3 people in the temple room, or maybe it's just like, oh, by the way, here's the score. I mean, it's always nice. But if you make it more of a central part for the whole community, do it when everybody in the whole community is there, and they see, oh, this is a central activity for everybody here in the community. And then also, you can take time, not just read scores of people to distribute books, you can include everybody who participated in the Sankirtan process. And that includes all the kids and all the different teams that went out. There's the Smart Box team, there's the Motel Gita team, and all those kinds of things can be combined within one offering. And it makes it, the effect is much more profound when you do that. Now, I'm moving on because time will not permit me to meander and simply go on and on. So we left off here with tips and ideas to ponder. So one of the concepts I'd like to reinforce is to pick the right fruits. When we go out, we're going to meet people. Did you have a question? Okay. When we go out on Sankirtan, or even when we stay in, we're going to meet people that are in different categories. And is it some materialistic thing to categorize people? No, the Shastra does it for us and says there are different categories of people that we're going to meet. Some people are innocent, and it's obvious that they're open and innocent. Other people are for one reason or another, inimical. They don't like it. They don't like God, they don't like me, they don't like the whole thing, the whole idea of it. And so you're supposed to act differently towards those categories of people. Towards the people that are very open, you're supposed to pour in as much mercy as possible. Do everything you can to help them and give them more Krishna consciousness. And for the people who aren't inimical, guess what? You've got permission to be upeksha, which means to avoid them, to be indifferent, to not engage. And that's service to them, because if you try to engage people who are envious and don't like you, it makes them increase their venom and become more inimical. So that's not good. So you have to become expert at picking the ripe fruits. So when you go to pick fruits on a tree, you look for the ones that are ripe. So similarly, when we're moving around in our life, we have to find the people who are ripe. And when we go out on Sankirtan, we're definitely looking for the ripe fruits. So here's a picture of this person walked onto the Rath Yatra site in New York. I was there that year, took a picture, and this devotee was distributing books. He just happened to be from Sweden or something like that, came there, spoke English, he was very friendly. And do you see his countenance and the way he looks, his face and his body language? Would you say ripe or unripe? Pretty recognizable, right? Okay, here's another one. Here's poor Krishna at his table, and here's this guy. Can you notice the body language and the countenance? He was there telling him about some other religious process, I think. But he was definitely not open. So you see unripe, and what's this? And? 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 Okay, so you have to practice like that. It's like the police academy. They show around, a bad guy jumps up and is like, boom, and a good guy comes up and goes, okay, hold your fire. So you have to learn that. And then the other concept tip is core and explore. So there's core activities that you know are going to work. There are spots you can go to, you know they're going to be productive. There's ways to present books that you know are effective. But take 20% of the time to innovate and try things you never tried before, to use a presentation that you've never used before. And that way you'll learn and expand. You also go outside your comfort zone. And this helps to keep you growing and improving. Now here's our prime objective. Our prime objective when we go out is not to sell books. It is to leave everyone with a good impression. So what's our prime objective? Leave everyone with a good impression. That is correct. And now if you go out with that intention, or you stay in with that intention, where with your family or with the assembly of devotees in the temple, or when you walk out the door, and you're going out of your way to leave everyone with a good intention, then you'll be right in the right zone. And just remember that. We are in the... You have to work with me on this. We are in the... After all, you just had the best Ekadashi Prasadam ever, according to some. Okay, next is, our motto is... Yes, this is the ABS principle. Always better service. Always be looking for ways that you can improve. So you'll have to notice those and write them down, and then make a deliberate point to improve on what you're doing. That's how you get better. Next is, our mood is, I think we have... Okay, yeah. We are... That's right. If you go out as an instrument to distribute books, then you don't have to worry about the results, because the result's up to Krishna. You just do the best you can. And if anybody ever feels nervous about going out at all, I mean, I do every time, because it's an unknown. You're going out into the unknown. Anybody ever feel a little nervous going out? Okay, I'll teach you a trick. How to not feel nervous ever again when you go on Sankirtan, or anywhere else for that matter. Are you ready? Yes. This will change your life. Okay, sit up straight. Now I want you to reach behind your head, because you probably didn't know it, but there's a little switch back there behind your head. And when you flip the switch, you change from being a human being into a robot. Okay, robots don't have feelings, do they? Right? Okay, you ready to go in robot mode? When I say 3, flip the switch and become a robot. 1, 2, 3, boom. No, I don't care. I'm just a robot. And when you turn on the robot machine and flip the switch, and you can move around the country quite nicely without being worried about a thing, because what's it to you? You're just a robot. So remember, you can switch off your mind and put it on robot mode. It's a very highly advanced feature that we have. Stay detached. Our mood is, we remain humble and hungry and grateful. Just be humble and hungry when you go out. Hungry for service and humble. Just be humble in the way you move, in the way that you speak, in the way you think, in the way that you interact with people. Next is we go out on Sankirtan 4. That's right. Go out for self-purification, and that way the result will be sure and certain, because you'll definitely get self-purification when you go out. Our mood is we do service for? Yeah, do service for service. We're not looking for any specific result. How does that jive with making goals? Well, these things go on simultaneously. We're doing service for service sake, but as we continue to improve, we need goals in order to have something to shoot for, and that'll also become a stimulating point for us, but it's also not the main thing. The main thing is the service. But the goals are an aid to our service. Our mood is that I save one soul at a time, beginning with, yeah, just like on the airlines, they say put your mask on first, then take care of your children, because if you're a dead parent, you can't help your kids, right? So consider that I save one soul at a time, beginning with myself. Treat people with, yes, R-E-S-P-C-T. Find out what it means to people. That's what everyone's looking for, a little bit of respect. They want respect, and if you see people as spiritual souls, not their body, you'll be able to genuinely extend that respect to people. Offer kind words. Everybody appreciates kind words. Focus on teamwork. Yes, think about the team. All for one and one for all. That's our first monthly Sanctity Festival we did in North Carolina. Everyone working together. They're a fabulous team there. Great leadership in North Carolina. They're exploding into, their book distribution is rapidly expanding there because they're using all these techniques and because of their excellent devotees and leadership. So preaching means? Yeah, that's what it means. It means to give. We're gift givers. That's what sampradaya means, to give the gift. Don't condescend to people. Go out with a compassionate heart. People have their own opinions, and you're not going to convince them on the spot to change. You just want to be kind and try to give them a gift if they're open for it. Express empathy. Yeah, we feel for everyone. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Atma pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna, sukham va yadiva dukam sayogi paramo mataha. He says the parama yogi, the highest yogi, is one who feels for others. He knows what it feels like to suffer in the material world. He knows what the experience is here, and he also knows what Krishna consciousness is. So he empathizes with other souls and what they're going through. So feel empathy for people. Practice reflective listening. You are a good listener. Listen to people. It's very important to hear what they have to say, not just telling. Make people feel why they are. Now, I want you to imagine that everyone you meet has a sign around their neck. We added this in especially to see if you could concentrate. It's live training, so we put sound effects, and they're going to come from every direction from now on. So just keep focused. So I want you to all think that each person in this room has a sign around his or her neck that says, "Make me feel special." You got that in mind? Have you visualized it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Every person in this room has a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel special." You got it? Okay, so now just take 30 seconds and make somebody feel special. 1, 2, 3, go. Hare Krishna. Thanks for taking your time to come down there. You are really a special person to take this seriously, and I deeply appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing this Krishna consciousness. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, stop. Didn't that feel terrible? Don't you hate it when people do that to you? They make you feel special? Yes. So if when you're moving about, you make people feel special, remember they're spiritual souls. They're very important. Each person you meet has a history, and each person has a unique relationship with Krishna. So you can relate to them and appreciate them, make them feel special. That's how to relate to people when you go on Sankirtan. You don't need any special line, you don't need special technique, you just need a special attitude and vision. And if you have that, people will respond to you in a very unique way. Develop the habit of expressing sincere gratitude and thanks to people that you meet, live with, or associate with. This is very important. Make this part of your life. And Sankirtan is holistic. It means not just going out somewhere, but how you treat everybody, including yourself. Have a little gratitude for what you have right now, and for the advancement that you've made, and have gratitude for the people that you live with. So there's several ways that you can keep up on book distribution. Here's distributebooks.com. Here's ISKCON Book Distribution. There are a lot of resources on both of those where you can review. This very lecture will be up there very soon, and you can go there and listen to it again. There's hundreds more, so you can get inspiration and training. So book distribution is fun and easy, and now we're going to go into how to sell a book on its own merit. So Prabhupada said that there's sufficient merit in our books that if you simply describe them sincerely to anyone, they will buy. By the way, are we following the second law of book distribution in here? Do we have books? Can I see them? I need verification. There's boxes of Gitas? Okay, why don't you give out some Gitas? So now, sufficient merit, if you just explain. So, there are many products that you can sell in the world, and often what companies will do if you're going to sell their product is they'll give you a little flip book, and then you go through the presentation, and when you come to the end, the people just buy it because the presentation's so good in the flip book. Now the product that you have that you're going to sell, not today, but sometime, is not only the product, but it's also the flip book. Because everything that you need to sell this is in or on the book itself. And all you have to do is show the book, because the book is the flip book and it's also the product. So they get to buy the flip book when you're done and take it along with them. So you can share with somebody, because we only need 50% saturation. So one thing is, get used to the book itself. Know what's in or on the book. Are you familiar with the book? Do you know your way around this particular Gita? Because today I'm going to talk about how to sell a Gita. And you want to know where the pictures are, so familiarize yourself with the pictures, what's on the back cover, what's on the first part of the book, and so forth. Because you're going to need to turn to it in order to present the book, okay? Feel better? You always feel better when you have a Gita. Always have a Gita around. Gita will protect you. Keep Gitas. Keep a Gita with you. Okay. You all ready? Okay, now I'm going to take you through some of the steps of how to sell a Bhagavad Gita. And you'll be experts when you finish this today. You'll be able to sell a Bhagavad Gita anywhere, at any time, to any person, wherever you go. Okay, here we go. Here's the steps. First is called radar. Second is qualify. Trust the hand. Give a nutshell presentation, show and tell, compliment, humor, and engage. So repeat these. Okay, so here's how it works. Radar is a special system that we use in many different industries. The police use it to find out how fast you're going, because there's laws about that. Here in Canada too, probably, right? They use these here? Yeah. Canada? Okay. So what happens is they have a little device that shoots a ray and it hits your car, and then it bounces back to the device, and there's a reading on it that tells how fast you're going, so they can accurately discern your speed. So in the same way, when we're going out, we're looking for ripe fruits. And how are you going to tell who's a ripe fruit or not? Unless you interview them. Well, there's a way to do that, and that's to use your radar. Because first thing is, we're making a conscious contact with people. And we can do that because we're conscious living entities and they're conscious living entities. And we can take a reading very quickly from people if we use our radar. And I'll teach you how to use your radar. Hold up your right hand, or left hand, whichever one you use generally. And now, there's a beam that's going to come out from your hand. So point it at somebody, not at me. I can't handle it all. Point it at somebody specifically, and I'm going to teach you the mantra. See, here's the hand power. And so when I say the mantra, you repeat, and then the beam will come out from your hand. And I want you to take the reading from the person that you shoot with your beam, okay? And you're going to tell me what the reading is. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, hi. Hi. Okay, what kind of reading? Yes. What is your name in the back? Neela, what kind of reading did you get? Good, happy. Anybody else? Happy. Anybody else? Jolly. See, this is a room full of ripe fruits. That's the thing. But if you were to use the same beam, and it's true, it's ripe fruits are all happy, we're in our comfort zone here, so you get hit with the beam, and you're like, ha ha ha, this is fun. When you're on the street, somebody's walking along, they have a little storm cloud over their head, and they're thinking, my life's a mess, and I don't like people, and I don't like you, and you go, hi, what are they going to do? Neela? Okay, I'll shoot you, and you play the person. Hi. Right, so ripe fruit or unripe? Unripe. How could I tell? Body language is very apparent. You can watch and you see people's eyes. You know, some people, it's like ripe or unripe. It's like in between, but not ripe enough. You can actually understand that. We can look at, even animals can tell, because they can look and they're friendly, not friendly. They can understand. That's how you can do as a conscious living entity. So we're making a conscious contact with people, and you make no mistake, when we go out, we're actually intervening in a way. We're imposing ourselves. We're injecting something into society. Yes, we are. And that's okay. That's what societies are meant for. It's meant for sharing ideas. It's an okay thing. Not everyone has to stay in a bubble. We're meant to talk to each other. So this is fine. Don't worry. So find out, take your reading, and you find out ripe fruit, unripe fruit, in between. So if they're a ripe fruit, one thing that I like to do is to make physical contact with people. And one very non-committal way that you can do that is a fist bump. Watch this. See, we feel a connection now. And anybody can do this, and you feel a connection. See, we have a special connection. We'll remember this. And it's demonstrative, you know, the way that people feel when you make a fist bump after you find the right fruit. Just keep that in mind. It's one thing that you can do. If you shake hands, it's like, people are like, I don't know if I want to touch you, and why are we shaking hands? But a fist bump anybody can do. In fact, some people are so attracted to it that from down the street, you're like, hi, and they go hi, and then they're walking away and you go like this, and they'll come all the way back. Because there's some magnetic force, because we're conscious, they're conscious, and they feel it's like, okay, yeah, I want a fist bump. They need human contact. We need human contact. So you can get that through the fist bump. It's very powerful. So the next thing we do after we say hi and we see a ripe fruit, we qualify. Because if you walk up to somebody and you just thrust the book at them, they don't know why they're getting it. They don't know why you're presenting it. And the confused mind usually says no. And so if you ask a question and you get an answer, that should do it to qualify them. For instance, Narahari Prabhu, I'm from California, where are you from? Toronto. I love Toronto. Fantastic, you're qualified. I'm from California, where are you from? Alachua, I love Florida, I love Alachua. Fantastic, great, you're qualified. Whatever they say qualifies them. And it's not a yes or no, because you don't ask them, are you from here? And they say no, then they keep walking. They say, I'm from California, I'm from Alachua, I'm from such and such, I live in Ontario, where are you from? Then they answer, solid answer, and whatever they say is their qualification. Because that's good enough for us. As long as they're within the material cosmos, that will qualify. So once they qualify, and you're responding to their qualification viscerally. In other words, there's a way in which you respond. It's like, you say, the person says, I'm from Toronto. Say, Toronto, okay, great. Here, we'll show you one too. And then the implication is, because you said Toronto, because you said anything, I'm going to show you this. Because you said that, you're qualified. The next is, trust the hand. Now this is a classic picture we took many years ago, and you notice the hand? Now look at the dichotomy in the face. She's not necessarily that interested. You can notice that from her face, right? Can you see it? But the hand is very happy to take it. So you'll notice that the hand oftentimes overrides the mind, because the head's going, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm not sure I want to get involved. I think I want to go home and have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But the hand goes, no, I'll take it. I'll take it right now, because that's what hands do. And if you put the book out and you trust the hand, you say, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to him. And they're like, here you go. And the hand's like, yeah, I'll take it. And it's like, why'd you do that? It's too late. So there's a few things that help when you're handing over the book, and that is to tell them what's in it for them as you're handing the book over. So here's a mantra. As I'm handing the book over, and would you move over here? Thank you. Yeah, sit right here. Now you notice as I, hi.
Hi.
Ripe fruit. Or pretty ripe. And then it's I'm from California, where are you from?
I'm from Toronto.
Toronto, I love Toronto. Blue Jays. All right, so, great. I'll show you one too. Everyone say show. Say show. 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 Give. No, not give. Show. 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 Sell. No, not sell. We're showing. We're just showing. All we're doing is showing. Showing is showing. It's nothing. It's very innocuous. It's okay. You can always show people stuff. Okay, so I'll show you one. And I just start to hand the book, and notice as I'm handing the book over, there's an arc that it's taking. And as it's making its way to the person's hand, and watch the hand come out, because that's what hands do, I say books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress. And as it touches his hand, I say stress. So we'll try it again. I'm from California. Where are you from?
I'm from Toronto.
Toronto. I love Toronto. Fantastic. Great. We'll show you one too. Books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress. So their mind also needs a little help, and you're telling them, here's what you're going to get out of this, and they hear it in one little mantra. Books on yoga and meditation show you how to get free from stress. Okay, everyone. Okay, one person.
Books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress.
Get free from? Good. Perfect. Very good. Fast learners here. Okay, so now the book's in the person's hand, right? Now, a communication skill that will help you in all circumstances in your life. This is a basic principle. And this is, we won't have time for, probably this weekend we teach a short course in communication. But the question mark is the most important punctuation mark in any language, because a question mark is like a hook. It actually pulls the conversation in the direction that you want to go. It also holds things in place. And it also can act like a tennis racket. It can put the ball back in the other person's court. So make a little question mark with your hands. And what is that? The most important punctuation mark in any language. For communication, it's very powerful. Become a master asker. Become a what? Don't just become a master teller. Become a master asker. So if you learn to ask questions, you'll be directing the conversation. You'll be leading the conversation, because whoever asks the questions leads the conversation. So now I'm going to ask a question. Right after I've told them, there's a book on yoga meditation shows you how to get free from stress. The book goes in your hand. What do you do now? You have to direct the conversation. So now, how do you do that? You ask a question. Here's a question. You say, you've heard of stress, right? Anyone? Yes. What if it's no? Okay, either way it's fine. Because the next answer accommodates that. So I ask this question, you've heard of stress, and wait for their reaction. 80% of the people say, yes, I've heard of stress, of course I'm very stressed, and so forth. The other 20% will go, no, I'm not stressed at all. Actually, it's more like 5% say that. They'll go like, no, I'm not stressed. Most people will admit that they're stressed. And so then I say, really, you don't look stressed, you look spiritual. And so if they say, no, I'm not stressed, we just continue into the same response, which is, yeah, I can tell. You really don't look stressed, you look spiritual. And now comes the next question, because we are not tellers, but we are master askers, right? So we ask the next question, what's your secret? Now if you don't take anything away from this seminar except for this, you'll still be in good shape. Because this question is so powerful, it should be illegal. That's why I put it in red. This question or anywhere else, because out with goodwill in our heart. We're not trying to manipulate people. We actually want to learn from them. And we would like to know, living entity to living entity, what their secret is in life. And they've just said, I've said to them, I've put them in this position that they look spiritual. So what happens when you tell somebody they look a certain way, you know what happens? They start feeling like that. Have you ever had anybody, you wake up in the morning, you go out, you're having a perfect fine day, and somebody goes, boy, you really look tired. How do you feel then? Tired. And you start looking in the mirror and say, God, I look terrible. If somebody comes up to you and say, hey, you look fantastic. How do you feel? You feel fantastic. You start looking in the mirror and say, yeah, I look better than I thought. Because we're very susceptible to our environment. And if somebody tells you you look spiritual, how do you react to that? You start thinking about, man, I am spiritual. And that's just about right, because each person you meet is actually spiritual. This is such a beautiful placement, because when you ask people, you tell people you look spiritual, they immediately change off the bodily platform. Well, not completely, but off the bodily platform, and they start thinking about their spiritual nature, whatever that means to them. And then you follow up with a question, which is, what's your secret? They're going to give you some interesting answers. Now the answers depend on whether in the mode of ignorance, passion, goodness, or transcendental. So if they're in the mode of ignorance, they'll tell you their secret is smoking marijuana. I'm just telling you up front. Or they'll say, I drink a lot, or something like that. Mode of passion, they'll say something like, I work hard, I work out, I'm in good shape, something like that. Mode of goodness, they'll say, I practice meditation. And transcendental, they say, hey, I'm a devotee. Didn't you remember me from the program last night? So this what's your secret, it changes the relationship from you being a condescender who's interjecting something in their life to them being an instructor, equal or better than you, where you're asking them, please, you tell me, how did you get like this? How did you become spiritual like this? And then their appreciation grows for what you're offering, because their heart opens. So that's when we take the book back. So we've given them possession, because I started with, hi.
Hey,
Oh, California, where are you from?
Toronto.
Toronto, I love Toronto. Great, I'll show you one too. Books on yoga, meditation, shows how to get free from stress. You've heard of stress before, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
Really, because you don't look stressed. You look spiritual. What's your secret?
I get enough sleep, I guess.
Gets enough sleep. I knew it. I could tell. You look great. Here, I'll show you really quick. So now I'm taking the book back. After that, a short interlude. Now I'm taking the book back. Somebody could give him the extra microphone so the devotees online could hear. And that's when I take the book back and I say, here, I'll show you really quick. How fast am I going to show them? Everyone say really quick. Everything's really quick, because the mind is about to take off. They're thinking, is this going to be a Bhagavatam class? Am I going to get it home? Am I going to be recruited for a cult? What's going on here? So the mind, no matter how charmed they are with your presence, is still thinking like, we got to get out of here. And if there's relatives there too, they're going like, we really got to get out of here, because he's about to spend some money. So here, I'll show you really quick. So really quick, you take the book back. Now comes the show and tell. This is easy. Everyone did it in kindergarten. You just bring in your thing and you show it and tell it. And everything that you need to show and tell is already on the book, on or in the book. So the first thing that we do is we name drop. So name drop builds their confidence in the book itself, because they should be confident. And I've watched people, as I mention these different names, they change. And they start thinking, oh, maybe I'll listen for the rest of the point, because these are important people. In fact, the other day I mentioned Thoreau and Emerson, and I got that far and he goes, based on that, I'm going to buy the book. He said, I'm reading Walden Pond right now, and he said, if Thoreau read this, I'm going to take it. He just gave me $20, took the book. So you just name these names. You don't have to go into a long explanation, but you just, on the back of the book, there's Thoreau, Emerson, Gandhi. But there's other people who've read the Bhagavad Gita too, so you can throw them in. So just say, look at Thoreau, Emerson, Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, the Beatles, and Tupac Shakur. He read Bhagavad Gita and appreciated it. Tupac. You guys aren't into rap? What's wrong? Yeah, Tupac is very famous rapper. He was killed in a drive-by or something like that. He was a very intelligent, interesting person, and a lot of people relate to him. So the point is to name people, and yes, there's 3 names on here, but you can keep pointing to the book and name the other ones too. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, the Beatles. You've all heard of the Beatles, right? So is everybody else for some reason, I don't know why. It's some special karma to help the Sankirtan movement. But you mentioned the Beatles, they read this. And then the next thing is I'll open the book to the writing, and I'll point to the Sanskrit. And I'll say, look it's written in this ancient language, Sanskrit. Can you read that?
No.
No. I was just testing you. It's all translated into English. And there are many translations of this book, because it's so famous. But of all the translations, this has become the most popular academically. Say, this has become the most popular academically. And then I point to USC. It's on the front. Notice that University of Southern California. Turn in your books to this page. It has the universities in the front. Front, not back. All the way to the front. Just past the picture, you'll see at the very bottom of the page, it says What does it say there?
University of Southern California.
That's a famous school. Then turn to the next page, and what does it say at the bottom?
Georgetown University.
And here in Canada, you might want to throw in UT, and what's the book where Bhaktivinoda Thakur was? McGill University. They're definitely transcendentalized. So these universities, all you have to do again is mention them, because it adds credibility. Okay? Everyone okay so far? Yes? Yes or yes? What? Okay, so I'll show you again. Okay, so books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress. You've heard of stress before, right?
Yes, I do.
Really, because you don't look stressed. You look very peaceful, actually spiritual. What's your secret?
I eat healthy food.
Healthy food. It shows. It really does. You have a special spiritual aura about you. Here, I'll show you really quick.
Sure.
Thoreau, Emerson, Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, the Beatles, Tupac Shakur, they all read this book.
Oh, Gandhi too. Okay.
And look at, this is written in an ancient language thousands of years ago called Sanskrit. Can you read that?
No.
I didn't think so. I was just testing it. It's all translated into English, and this Gita has been translated many times into English, hundreds of times, but out of all the editions, this has become very popular academically. Do you know USC?
Yes.
Have you heard of Georgetown University?
Yes, I do.
How about McGill?
Yeah.
UT?
Yes.
Yes. So that's it. It's just like that. Okay, then comes the next part, which is showing the pictures. So the first picture I show them is this changing bodies. And here's what you say. So we start here. You can point here. Say this. We start here. We end up here. We're just passing through. Where are you in all this? So now watch. So after I show the universities, now you got to turn quickly, and I say, here it is in a nutshell. Say that. So now I turn to this page, and you got to turn rather quickly, because if you fumble around for half an hour, they'll be gone. Even if you fumble around for 30 seconds, they'll be gone, because they'll start thinking, their mind will take off. They're like, I got to go. And anything can happen, so you got to be quick. Open up to this page and hold it like this, not so you can see it, so they can see it, right? So you're holding like this, and then you look down and you say, look, we start here, we end up here, we're just passing through. Life's a quick journey, right? And then you can ask them, where are you in all this? Let's see.
Somewhere in the middle.
Let the record show that he said somewhere in the middle, right? Okay, say, then I turn to the next page, turn your book to the next page, and you'll see the sage who sees everyone equally. You know this page? This is from the verse, Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavyastani. Okay, so I say, look at, this shows a self-realized person. A self-realized person treats everyone with respect because he or she sees the spirit is there within the heart. So, this shows a self-realized person. A self-realized person treats everybody with respect because he or she sees the spirit within everyone's heart. Very good. Now the next comes another question. It's about time for a question, don't you think? Because we are master askers. So the next question is, you've heard of karma, right?
Yes, I did.
What does it mean to you?
What goes around comes around.
Whoa! I really like the way you put things. If more people in the world thought like you, it would be a better world to live in. Let's try that again. You've heard of karma before, right?
Yes.
What does it mean to you?
What goes around comes around.
Whoa! Come on. Whoa! I really like the way you put things. If more people in the world thought like you, it'd be a better world to live in. Okay, now you ask me. You've heard of karma before, right? Ask me. Yeah? It's kind of weird. It's like there's rabbits and frogs and all kinds of stuff, and things happen. Come on, you got to use your thumb. Now, I didn't teach you this part. You got to actually act it out. So you ask me, and when I give my answer, I want you to wheel back, like over dramatize it. Use your thumb and just like, whoa, amazing. I really like the way you put things. If more people in the world thought like you, it'd be a better world to live in. Are you ready? Okay, ask me. Yeah, I heard of karma. It's like really strange, you know, it's like this energy and stuff happens and, you know, like probably like good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. If more people in the world thought like you, it'd be a better world to live in. Okay, we're not quite there though. Let's try it one more time. A little more enthusiasm though. Can I ask me again? Yeah? I don't know, it's like really weird, you know, it's like stuff circles and things completed and things like that. Very good, very good. I feel great. So this is a part of the presentation. It actually goes, the whole presentation goes pretty quickly. We're dissecting it, so it seems a little slow, but here you need a little energy. And you need to reassure them and help them along. So appreciate their answer about karma. And if they say, I don't know what karma means, or it doesn't mean anything to me, it's like, what have you heard it means? And then they'll tell you, it's like, I don't know, you know, what goes around comes around. And then you go, whoa, I really like the way you put things. If more people in the world thought like you, it would be a better world to live in. We met a group of girls, we were on the street, I think it was in DC, and one of them, I was showing the book and I said, you've heard of karma before, right? And she goes, yeah, I've heard it, I just don't believe in it. I'm a Christian. And I said, yeah, well, what does it mean to you anyway? And she goes, I don't know, you know, the theory of like, you know, whatever you do comes back to you and stuff like that. And there were 7 devotees with me and everyone went, whoa, we really like the way you put things. If more people in the world thought like you, it would be a better world to live in. And she bought the book. And so, if you like, you can show them this picture of karma, the cow with the man's head, man with the cow's head. Say, this won an award, and it did, a graphics award to show karma. Like, whatever we do comes right back to us. And then sometimes I say that when you're generous, that generosity breeds generosity. And then I ask them, next thing is, what do you do professionally? Everyone say that, please. What do you do professionally? And they say, I'm a civil engineer, I'm a Sunday school teacher, I'm a dancer. Okay, once I ask them the question, now, I say, wow, this guy used to be a civil engineer. You see the picture in here? So ask him, and then you ask him, what do you do professionally? What do you do professionally? Yeah, yeah. He is? Yeah. No, really, what do you do?
I am a financial advisor.
A what? Financial advisor. This guy used to be a financial advisor. Or they say, yeah, really? This guy used to be a Sunday school teacher. Or, really, this guy used to be a dancer. So, and if they say, I'm an engineer, I say, what kind of engineer? They go like, oh, I deal with, I don't know, what kind of engineers are there? I deal with mechanical, no, but like, okay, software. What kind of software? Java. Really, this guy used to be into Java. Okay, so once you tell them that, 50% of the people laugh. And the other 50% of the people say, really? And they say, no, not really, I'm just kidding. And then they laugh. And as soon as they laugh, then you say, then you hand the book back. This is the part where the book goes back in their hand. So hand the book back and you say, we don't sell these like in a bookstore. So now you notice when I'm handing the book back, I'm reassuring that we're not selling them, because we're not. So that we don't sell these like in a bookstore. Say that. We don't need, we only ask for donation. We just take a donation. Okay, now watch how I do it like this. We don't need the money. Do this. The only reason we ask is when you give something in return for spiritual knowledge. It connects you to the previous teachers who have passed it down over many generations. And it allows you to enter deeply within the knowledge. Okay. We don't sell these like in a bookstore. We only take a donation. The only reason we ask... Oh, sorry, I'll start over. We don't sell these like in a bookstore. We only ask for a donation. We don't need the money. The only reason we ask, when you give something in return for spiritual knowledge, it's an ancient tradition. It connects you to the previous teachers who have passed it down over many generations and allows you to enter deeply within the knowledge. There. And so this is a very straightforward way of asking for a donation. Now, why even ask for a donation? Some people are happy to distribute books at any time or place, but they say, why this donation thing? Why are you so into this? Well, here's why. Because we don't want to deprive anyone of the opportunity to do this service. Money's just a token, and it's one of the ways that they can do a little service in return for receiving this knowledge. And what we're saying here is actually true. It's tradition. You're supposed to give dakshina when you get some teaching, and it's passed down to you. It completes the circle. Now, in the Gita, Krishna says, don't share this knowledge with people who are not devoted or austere. And oftentimes people will bring this up, especially those who know the Gita. Why are you out here distributing these to people who are not devoted or austere? It's for the devotees, not for anybody. However, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood is a little different. It's to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to take this. But at the same time, we have to follow this edict that we give them to people who are devoted or austere. How are you going to know if they're devoted or austere to read the book? By asking for a donation. Because if you ask for a donation, you'll find out that it's an austerity. Because their face will maybe crinkle up a little bit. And like, oh, a donation, okay. They have to do a tiny little bit of penance, like austerity, to reach in and give something, hard-earned money. And Prabhupada mentioned this again and again, that once they give something, then they'll think, what did I give my hard-earned money for? I want to read this now. They'll appreciate it. And it gives them an opportunity to do that little service. Now, what if they don't have any money, but they like the book? It's okay, because they paid attention. If they pay attention, I mean, we don't care, money, attention, whatever they give, it's fine, as long as they give something. If giving your attention, giving your time, that's more valuable than money as far as we're concerned, because time is more valuable than money. So you get more money, but you can't get more time. So if someone pays attention to what you're saying and they appreciate it, there's like, okay, yeah, this is good, but I just don't have any money. And, okay, then you paid attention, then it's okay. They can take the book, they can keep it and read it and appreciate it. What we don't want to do is just indiscriminately give books to people who don't appreciate them. Just hand them out any which way. Someone might say, well, don't you do that at Rath Yatra? It's not the same. Because we've created an environment at Rath Yatra where Lord Jagannath's going down the street, the chanting is there, it's very well organized, and people are in an open state and they're appreciating. This is something nice. They're giving their attention, they're giving their appreciation. They can take a little gift of a book and take it along with them. In normal circumstances, we ask for this donation to give them an opportunity to give something in return. Can we ask a beggar to give something? Yes, because this is transcendental. So, how are we for time? Just monitoring. Okay, so this is the last part. And you can mention the cost, because one of the reasons that people don't give is, okay, thank you. One of the reasons that people often don't give, or they say they don't have any money, which isn't true, because everybody has money, is because they don't know what to give. And they're thinking they don't want to insult you by giving too little. So oftentimes it helps to give them a number. For instance, with cost, with shipping and storage and everything, it costs us around $10. Anything after that is a donation that you give, if you tell a specific amount. I often don't say that. I often just say, give from your heart, whatever you like to give, and whenever they give, I let them have the book. And because I give them the freedom to do that, they choose, the amount they'd like to give. However, I do like to say some things that are humorous to help them out sometimes as they're looking for donation. I'll say things like, we try to keep it under 100, but in your case, we're thinking about making an exception. And when people ask, why are you doing, what's this cause for, and so forth, we're spreading love for God. That's a nice thing to say. But we're helping people who are suffering from ignorance all over the world. Now, some comebacks. They say, I already know all about this. I say, that's great, I could tell by looking at you. And that's something that we say a lot. Like people say, I already give. I say, I know, I can tell by looking at you. I could tell, you look like somebody who gives all the time. That's why I picked you out. So you honor their objection. Whatever objection they give, you honor their objection. They say, I'm a Christian, atheist, Buddhist, Muslim. That's why there's a designation there. They can't take the book, so you tell me that you're a Buddhist. Okay, books on yoga and meditation show you how to get free from stress.
Interesting.
No, I'm a Buddhist, it's coming back, right? Sorry, I'm a Buddhist, and you're giving it back. Say, I'm a Buddhist.
I'm a Buddhist.
It's hard to say, right? Okay, I'm a Buddhist. Oh, instead of going like this, no, take it really, Buddha's into this and stuff like that, take the book back. Once their mind has rejected whatever thing you handed them, you have to take it back, because it's not going to stick. Whatever you resist will persist. So, books on yoga and meditation shows you how to get free from stress, and you say?
I'm a Buddhist.
Oh, I'm sorry, here. Now I pick out the Buddha book and say, okay, here, this one's for you. Now, Lord Buddha taught that the body's like a house. We're only inhabiting the house, and the main purpose of life is to get free from this bondage. And if we had more people like you in the world, it'd be a better place to live. Now, just changing the context of the book, accepting the book back, they say, I'm a Muslim. Sorry, I'm a Muslim.
I'm a Muslim.
Oh, I'm sorry, here. Allah is within everyone's heart. The main purpose of life is to develop love for Allah. The problem nowadays is everyone's externally focused. They've forgotten about the purpose of life, as taught in the Quran and other great scriptures of the world. So if we had more people like you in the world, it would be a better place to live. We don't sell it like in a bookstore. We don't need the money, we just take a donation. So honor their objection, honor their designation. Don't resist it. So if they tell you a designation, they say, I'm an atheist. I'd say, oh, I'm sorry, here. This one's for you. This is an atheist book. They'll appreciate it. You can give anything. I was outside it's just a matter of how it's presented. I was outside an Indian store with a bunch of young Indian devotees. They'd never been on Sankirtan. I was showing how to distribute books outside a store. And a man came over and I introduced Bhagavad Gita, and he said, I'm sorry, I'm a Muslim. So I took, I'm sorry, here. And I said, here, to the young men, I said, give me the Muslim book. And they were looking at me like, you're nuts. And I was like, are you sure BBT makes Muslim books? And see, we understand, we're non-sectarian. This knowledge is universal. This is our understanding. And so I said, give me the Muslim book. They were all looking around like, where? I said, that one. And I grabbed a Krishna book and handed it to me. And I showed him the book in the right context and explained it universally, and then he took it. He took it and gave a donation, and appreciated it too. And it's not, it's not a sleight of hand. It's actually just reframing it so they understand it in their own terms. So, oh great, then I'll show you this one. Okay, are you selling this? Sometimes people ask you the first thing when you approach them, they want to establish that right away. Are you selling it, right? So I say, we refuse to sell it. I'm very adamant about this. We refuse to sell this. It's too valuable. We just take a donation. Okay, are you selling this? No, use your hands. Like, we refuse to sell this. Are you selling it? Get your hands out. Come on, you talk with your friend. We refuse to sell it. It's too valuable. We just take a donation. Oh, okay, I'll give a donation. That's okay. As long as you're not selling it. And so that's, again, reframing, because people think it's selling. I don't want to be sold anything. We refuse to sell this. We will not sell this under any circumstances. It's too valuable. We just take a donation. Well, I'll give a donation. That I don't mind doing. I just don't want to buy anything. That's fine. No problem. Okay, how much should I donate? We tried to keep it under 100, but in your case, we're thinking about making an exception. So after, here they're giving a donation. This person gave a donation to Madhukanta, and then we ask them, do you believe in the power of prayer? Ask that. Do you believe in the power of prayer? And they say? Yes. Or they say? No. Either way, it's okay. Because if they say yes, then we teach them the Maha Mantra as a prayer, and if they say no, then we say, great, I'll teach you a mantra. So then we take a mantra card, that's why it's more than heaven, and we give them the card, and we say, now this is a little hard to pronounce, it's a prayer, names of God, in a prayer meant to wake up love for God in your heart, and all say it one time, and you can repeat, are you ready? And so you have to do it a little quickly, because they might start thinking, and sometimes they do, they go like, I can't say this. And this actually shows the power of the mantra, because living entities know, if I say something, it's manifesting in the universe. Words are powerful. Your word is your bond, and when you say certain words, it can actually change the world, it can change your consciousness. People intuit this. So you say, are you ready? And they're like, okay, ready? Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Rama. Hare Hare. Hare. Fantastic. You're a natural. Okay, so then they chant the Maha Mantra, then the next thing, you got to give them prasadam. Because there's no earthly reason not to give prasadam when you meet people. And then you can tell them, this is for being so kind. And we pass out things like lollipops that are offered to the Lord. That's perfectly bona fide. Prabhupada gave us permission in 1972. Bhakti Gopal started doing candy canes distribution because he saw the Salvation Army do it. Devotees complained. They said, that you can't do that. Bhakti Gopal Prabhu wrote to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, what is the harm? He said, in India we do all the time. We buy sugar candies from the shop. We offer to the deities. He said, you can do it also. So they've been doing that for many, many years, offering candy canes and lollipops and things like that. Make sure they're pure ingredients. And there's other prasadam that you can bring out to give to people. Give them a little prasadam and then take their information so that you can connect them to the TST Connect. And then thank them for taking their valuable time. Thank them at the end. And whether they take a book or don't take a book doesn't matter. Thank them for taking their valuable time, because our prime directive is what? That's right. Whether they take or don't take, it doesn't matter to us. We're not there for some result. We don't have any personal investment in whether they take or don't take. It's equal to us. The main point is we want to leave them with a good impression. And as we go throughout, leaving everyone with a good impression, some people will take books, some people won't take them now, but they'll appreciate so much. In fact, you'll find if you leave people with a good impression, sometimes what happens is they'll say no, they'll walk away, and they'll come back 10 minutes later. They say, I changed my mind because you were so nice to me. Because you appreciated me even though I didn't take a book. So you want to leave everyone like that, wherever you go, and be in that mode constantly. So now we're going to try an experiment that will test your managerial ability. And the assignment is that we have devotees here. We need you to line up in the temple room facing one another, and you need to have one person across from you. And we need 1 or 2 lines, wherever it is, either here or there. You have to decide in the 40 seconds that I'm going to give you. And on one side of the line, the devotees are holding a book in their hand. On the other side, you're empty-handed, the whole line. And each person has a partner they're facing. Think it's possible? Yes. Okay, so there was a world record set when we were in Catonsville, and they did it. in about 38 seconds. They got all lined up. Are you ready to try it? Use your organizational skills. I'm going to time you, don't start yet. On your mark. Oh, announcement. Get set, go. Work together as a team, get lined up as quickly as you can. That's 8 seconds. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. 15 seconds. Thank you. I'll just leave that open. It's got to, you can leave it
We
open.
should have all told them to go one way or another, but part of them were over there.
You
You want
get
to get beat the record, Prabhu, very good. We can do it.
10 seconds.
Hurry, hurry.
9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3. Congratulations. Give yourselves a hand. Very, very organized group. Okay, so one thing to observe. Now, when you're standing, getting ready to distribute, don't telegraph by holding the book in your hand like this and walking down the street like this. Because people see you from a mile away and they go, that guy's after me. You want to keep the book out of your hand like this. See? I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here, right? Like this. So, and you also want to stand back a little bit. Cool as a cucumber in an icebox. You see like this? Cool. Lean back. You got to lean back a little bit. Cool as a cucumber. Not like this. Not like nervous, but cool. You're detached. You're leaning back. You're not chasing anybody because you're just waiting for the ripe fruits to come to you, right? So then when you do your high, it's not like this high. It's like this high. You're waiting for that radar to come back to you, and you see a ripe fruit. If you see a ripe fruit, fine. Then you can start following up. California, where are you from? Toronto. I love Toronto. Fantastic. I'll show you one too. Books on yoga and meditation that show you how to get free from stress. You've heard of stress before, right?
Yes.
Really? Because you don't look stressed at all. In fact, you look spiritual. What's your secret?
I get enough sleep.
He gets enough sleep. Yeah, I can tell. You look very, very healthy. But it's more than that. You actually have like kind of a spiritual balance to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll show you really quick. Thoreau, someone hold this for me, please. This one, this. Thoreau, Emerson, Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein, the Beatles, Tupac Shakur, they all read this. And here, it comes from an ancient language. It was written many thousands of years ago. Can you read that?
No.
Just testing it. Here. Out of all the different versions that have been translated into English, this has become the most popular academically. USC?
Wow.
Georgetown University? You know McGill?
Yes.
In Montreal? Yeah. Here it is in a nutshell. We all start here, and we end up here. We're just passing through. Life's like a quick journey. Where are you in all this?
Somewhere in the middle.
In the middle. I'm over here. I was here 5 minutes ago. And look at this. A self-realized person treats everyone with respect because he or she sees that there's a spirit in everyone's heart. You've heard of karma before, right?
Yes.
What does it mean to you?
What you do comes back.
Whoa. I really like the way you put things. If more people in the world thought like you, it would be a better world to live in. See, this is a graphic that shows karma. It won an award. Man with a cow's head, cow with a man's head. Generosity breeds generosity, violence breeds violence. What do you do professionally?
I'm a scientist.
What kind of scientist?
Data scientist.
Data. This guy was a data scientist. We don't sell it like in a bookstore. We only ask for a donation. We don't need the money. It's an ancient tradition. When you give something in return for spiritual knowledge, it connects you to the previous teachers who have passed it down and allows you to enter deeply within the knowledge.
Thank you. And by the way.
Thank you. They cost us for printing and shipping and storage about $10 each. Anything you give over that is a donation. Start digging. We try to keep it under 100, but in your case, we're thinking about making an exception. So give something. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, do you believe in the power of prayer?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm going to teach you a prayer. It comes from the Sanskrit language. Notice I'm taking a mantra card out. I'm showing here. It comes from the Sanskrit language. It's a little hard to pronounce, but I'll do it for you once and you can repeat and you'll know how to do it. Are you ready? Yes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. You're a natural. Very good. And now notice I'm giving you some prasadam. I'm pulling a lollipop. I say, this is for being so kind. Thank you very much. And now at this point I would take, if you'd like more information about when we have classes on yoga and meditation, things like that, I can put you on our mailing list. Would you like that?
Yeah, sure.
Great. So now I have a pen, I have a pad, I pull it out, or whether you use it electronically or get his card, get the information. And then finally I'll say, thank you very much for taking your valuable time. It was really an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, so that's one full series, and I stopped in between a little bit, but you could go right through. Now, the recipients who are taking the books, don't make any obstacles. Don't say, I'm a Muslim and this or that. Whatever, just be helpful in helping them move the agenda forward. We're not trying to deal with special circumstances. That's another class. What we're dealing with here is just learning the template one time through. So do it one time through on this side as efficiently and as quickly as you can without any detours, and then stop. And then we're going to take a couple questions and we're going to go the other way. Okay? Try to make a few mistakes. The person can help you along. You can collaborate. The person can remind you, say this next, say that next. But the main point is to get all the way through it. And if you blow it a few times, that's okay. That's good, actually, because you learn from your mistakes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, on your mark. Cool as a cucumber, get the books out of your hands. Don't hold in your hands. Hold on somewhere under your arm, something like that, so you're clean. And then use your radar. On your mark. Cool as a cucumber. Hold it back. Get it out of your hands now. 1, 2, 3, go. You didn't get a partner? Did you want to try it with somebody? She didn't get a partner. Can you? Yeah. Actually, I'll take this. Oh, you did? I'm going to turn this off. Better leave it.
Have you heard of karma before? So you don't sell these books. You do them across to the bookstore. get it in the mouth. Plus about $10 for shipping. Anything above that is a donation. Sorry to interrupt. I've done it a few times. It's still hard to connect all the. It's like you're getting money. All of these are rare. Sure, one. It's a little bit good when you're ready. Because if you think for your time, it's sugar and love. Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. Oh, that's right. That's right. So we have a this is like to know more, and I take more information on the meetings.
Hardback Gita. Hardback Gita. Okay. Have you all gone one direction? Okay. About one more minute.
And you can ask everybody.
Someone I can't tell. No, we weren't supposed to, but it looks like some people are. If you've done one side, have you gone one way already? Have you finished one full set?
We need one more practice.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, 30 more seconds. Okay. Just wrap up what you're doing now.
Sometimes they might say no.
20 seconds.
Also, want to be generous.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can hear me, raise your hand. 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 Okay, so did you all, how many of you, raised by your show of hands, went through one side? You finished one side completely?
We didn't finish.
You didn't finish yet? One side?
Our Mahamantra part was written.
Okay, mantras were played, that's okay. So, a couple questions. How did it go? Any sticking points? Anything you want to ask about? Yes.
I find because it's the first time, just the notion of going through the thinking what I'm supposed to say makes me a little nervous. So not knowing the whole thing routine properly makes me think about what am I supposed to say instead of connecting with the person.
Yeah, that happens in the beginning, and it's the same like if you're learning to play the mridanga, you start overthinking it because you have a certain mantra that you have to follow. But once you learn the mantra and you actually start playing it, then it becomes second nature. And then from there you can innovate and connect more. So it's natural in the beginning. So don't worry when you're learning this, even if it seems a little mechanical or artificial, just learn it. There are many other templates that you can learn. But if you learn one to start with, you'll develop some confidence, and from there you can start innovating and learning many more things. This will help you a lot. Thank you, that was a really important comment. What else?
It was hard for me to remember the sequence. I was thinking more about the sequence than the logic. When I was watching it, it was very clear and it's very simple, but when I'm doing it, I'm trying to think about the sequence. That's an obstacle.
Yeah. It's just, you want to get your reps. The more reps you get, and if you do reps at home with people you can practice with, you'll start getting good at it. And if you do reps out in public, that'll work too. And we're not attached. We don't mind if we lose a few here and there, because once you get the reps down, you'll feel confident. Similar thing. Anything else? Okay, let's go yes, one more thing.
A person cannot give a donation money and they give attention. What kind of books can we give for attention?
Whichever one they like. One of the things is, if I'm offering a book and they become attached to it, and they obviously want to keep it, I generally don't like to take it back. So if it looks like it's going to a good home, then appreciate them, let it go. Because switching books up and say, okay, this one, not that one, can actually tweak people's brains a little bit. Kind of like, oh, you said this, then you took that back. So it's better to be a little bit more liberal and let the books go rather than to offend people. And you'll find that the Lakshmi's going to come in anyway. Okay?
Can we, in this particular case, can we give them the soft cover Bhagavad Gita instead of hard cover?
Yes, but you have to be really careful to make sure that it's okay with them. Generally, sometimes people aren't interested in a book, so what I'll say to people, I don't want to give a donation, and you can ask a question and say, would you rather I give it to somebody else? And then if they go, yeah, take it, so I don't really want it, then no problem. Say, no, I actually want to keep it, I just don't have any money. So no problem, let them have it. And if you ask them, would you like it, would you take it in paperback? Just be a little careful, because people have this sense that you're showing them this, say we don't need the money, and then you say give it, here, take something else. You go, oh, well, why is that? Right? So generally when you set up a Sankirtan program and you're getting everybody involved, and it includes people that will help from the congregation, they're giving donations, and what you'll find is you have more money than you know what to do with. And it'll be difficult to give out and distribute all the books that you have. Toronto Sankirtan team, is that true? Here in Toronto? You have a lot of books, and you're thinking of ways to distribute them. It's not like you have, right?
Yes, bro, we have a lot of books.
Yeah, so ISV, all the temples I know that are doing the monthly Sankirtan festival have tons of books, and Lakshmi is not such a huge issue. Although we do really big when we go out, but with each individual person, you don't have to make a big point. Main thing is to leave them with a good impression and make sure the book goes to a good home. Okay? Changing from a hardback to a softback, it's only going to make a difference of a couple dollars. And if it offends somebody, how much is that worth? And how much does that affect the world? So better to leave people with a good impression at practically at all costs.
Sometimes they will volunteer to take a smaller one.
Yes.
Sometimes they will volunteer because they feel like they're taking something very valuable and they can't give you something in return.
Right.
They'll volunteer. Maybe I'll take something smaller.
Yes. Then when they volunteer, then you can go that way if you like. Okay, let's go the other way. So we went one side, and now the other side, take the rep and distribute the book, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Take the books out of your hands. Lean back, cool as a cucumber. You ready? On your mark, get set. Distribute. Haribo.
Marman, Natari Marman, Natari Marman, Natari Marman, hey, Natari Marman, Natari Marman, Natari Marman, Natari Marman.